This is information technology, subject code 402, and this is a sample question we were discussing. So here we have 6 questions of 2 marks each and answer 4 questions. State the purpose of creating a blog. So with the advent of websites, if you see today we have Facebook, Twitter. Twitter is the most popular microblogging site. So why it is called microblogging? Because now you can tell people what you are, what you are doing, and you can relate to people. People can follow you. So a blog is a discussion style, or it is a website which is for you to discuss. It can be non-technical. It can be say related to computer or science. It can also be non-technical. So here user create their personal web pages. You can call it as websites also. So this is how they convey their message, maybe about event, announcements, some news and reviews. So all the information about you can be shared with the people following you or through the website. So this is how you connect with people using a website and a blog. So blog is normally accessed through web browser, and it would require an internet connection or a data connection. But right now most of the things are on mobile and they are in the form of apps. So that is also blogging. Differentiate between page break and section break options of a Word document. So whenever you are working in a Word document, so Word documents are divided into different pages. For example, this is one page. You have written your content, and then you want the other content to be in the next page, to start from the next page. Here you put a page break. So page break is all about starting a new page. And for section break, let us assume that you are writing a project report. So here the first section will be about the first page, the title, something about your guide, etc. So there has to be one section. Then the chapters will start. That will be other section, and some bibliography and references will be third section. So there will be multiple sections, and you want to have a different formatting for all these different sections, right? For that you put not a page break but section break. So a page break can be inserted anywhere in your document where you want to force the end of the page and you want a beginning of a new one. But a section break, it controls the formatting of the document content that precedes it until it reaches another section break. So different sections can have different, you can deal with them in a single document in a different way. You can format them in a different way. Because for example, header footer may come in some of the sections, some it will not come. So this is section break. Explain conditional formatting with the help of a suitable example. What is conditional formatting? You want to formatting is all about changing the text, coloring, etc. But conditional formatting is changing the format with certain condition. That is, for example, you are writing Peter. If I can write it in blue, I can underline it, I can make it as italic. But for certain cells or on based of certain condition, on based of certain conditions or ruling, we want certain cells to be formatted in a different way. So that conditions can be based on the selected cells contents, or it can be based on the content of other cell also. For example, you have marks of different students. Now you want to highlight only those cells which are higher, those marks which are higher than 80, say in some green color or some other color. Those cells will be highlighted, and that will be much more interactive and you will appreciate, the user will appreciate, okay, these are the people who have got 80 marks. If you want to give them some praise, or you can do it by just seeing it. List the activities recorded under a journal entry. Journal entry. So what is a journal entry? A contact or a person, whatever he does, that has to be entered in a journal entry. For example, certain appointment, some task, or some call. All these are activities recorded under journal entry. So there are certain activities that can be automatically recorded under this journal entry. For examples, emails which are sent or received. If a person has sent some email and also received, these are automatically recorded into journal entry. The telephone calls, if some meeting is there, what is the meeting request, what are the responses being received, this also goes into journal entry. Along with the office documents a person is managing, that also goes into journal entry. So this is a kind of example. These are the journal entries. Differentiate between flat file and relational database. Flat file and relational database. Flat file is just a simple file. I'll go to a table discussion just now, but let us assume there is a plain document, a Word document, or even a Notepad document. So you have written some name, address, age for first person, second person also the same thing. So you just call it as a flat file. You just took a page and just wrote something on it. In database terms, a flat file is a database containing only a single table. Only one table is there. It is a formation of rows and columns. So you have a data dictionary where you have records, and that records will have files, records, fields and characters. Okay. The advantage is very easy to create, very inexpensive. But the problem is, the disadvantage is data redundancy, that you will get same row multiple times. Inconsistency also, if you go to some other place, say the salary will be credited here but not debited there. So there will be inconsistency and redundancy in the flat file database. But there is another kind of database which is relational database. So flat file, please understand one more time, data is stored in a single table and usually suitable for less amount of data or less amount of data to be handled. This is flat file. But when we have a big data or medium or large amount of data, then the relational database is all about multiple tables. And these multiple tables are just made because we want to avoid the data redundancy and the inconsistency. So we divide the table into different parts and these tables are related. So before making a database, we make a schema, that is the framework, and with the ER diagram, entity relationship diagram, we formulate how many tables will be formed, what will be the formation, what will be the fields, all these. That is, entities, attributes and relationships are formulated. So the advantage is it is having a reduced data redundancy, consistency, shared data, centralized security. All are the advantages, but there is no disadvantage. But simple thing is that you need some expertise to understand this RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, or multiple table form, because there are so many things which are going to come. One more question they have asked about this. We'll be discussing it just now. So flat file, one table, relational database, multiple table linked along, and linked along in a better way to reduce data redundancy and inconsistency that we generally find in the flat file database. Normally we don't find it, or we never find it in a relational database. So this is the partition. This question is very important because it is being asked multiple times, and we need to understand this flat file and relational database concept so that you can answer it well. Mention 2 points stating the effective use of animation in a presentation. So whenever you present, what do? If a person is simply standing just with no pauses, saying everything, no one will be interested to hear it. That is, if you present a document, Word document or a PDF document, you just start reading it. See, just giving an example, if you read a book, you will sleep normally. So the presentation is all about presenting a content in a way so that the user or the audience or the people who are listening, they get the information in an interactive way and in a very, say, you can say, in an interactive way, and they enjoy it also. For that, there are one of the good ways, animation. So in a presentation, when you have the animation, that is, things are moving, they can see what is going on in a form of a movie or in a form of, they can actually relate to it. Because if you see kids, they love cartoon because they don't know anything, they are not well, their mind is not that much mature, but cartoon they can very well understand. That is, they get, say, addicted to it. So the audience attention focusing is very important. For that, animation is important. It also controls the flow of information, especially when you're explaining some complex term or complex diagram or complex, say, flow of data flow. So this is focusing the audience attention, flowing of information, and that is, if animation is there, everything is not at once. It reveals every concept one by one. Okay, like somebody, how to make a call or a video call. So you show everything, every step in a form of an animation, and then the other person who is sitting, they will get glued to your presentation. Answer any 4 questions out of the following 6 questions of 3 marks each. So the first one is Sanya. Sanya is working on Word document. She has inserted graphics and wants to use wrap text with graphics. Under which tab she can find text wrapping? List any 2 text wrapping options available in word processing software. In order to understand and answer this question, you need to understand MS Word, the different tabs. So 1+2 marking scheme is there. So wrap text, what is this? For example, if you have a Word document, you have inserted a picture. So this picture will be somewhere here where you are going to type the text. How this text will be typed, that is the wrapping, that is text wrapping. Okay. You want the image should be there and text should be only in top and bottom. Sometimes you want that the image should only be seen on the back. So this is all text wrapping, that is in line with text, square, tight, through, top and bottom, behind text, in front of text. All these are the text wrapping functions available. First is this. What will you do? You will go to Insert tab. Under Text section, there will be an option Wrap Text, which I am showing you here also. So Insert, Text section, Wrap. This is the first part. Second part is list any 2 text wrapping options available in a word processing software. So all these listing I have shown, you can write any 2 of these. If you write all of these, that will be more the icing on the butter cake. Explain any 3 character formatting options in a Word document. So in a Word document, there are plenty of way in which you can format the characters, sentences, paragraphs. For example, if you see here, you wrote something, then you made them bold, italic, underlined. So you have somewhat placed a formatting. So this is what you have to write in the answer. For example, if you see in this picture, this is character formatting. Somewhere it is strike through, somewhere it is underlined, somewhere the font is different, somewhere the text style is different. So you can take any of these. 3 of us we have taken changing the case. That is, if you are writing or written something in small cases, small letters, it will be changed directly into the uppercase, capital letters. So this is the changing of the case. You'll find it under font group. So this is the case changing. Uppercase, lowercase. Font face means how the style, the font or the character will be shown. Font is not, you can find it analogy with the character only. So these are different fonts, shape and size. Then text highlighting color. So if you want to highlight that particular character or a sentence, you can highlight it. That is the background color of that character or the sentence will change. So these are some of the listing I have given. You can add others also, which you know at by the time you are giving the answers, because in examination sometimes you don't remember these. State the purpose of creating tables in a digital presentation. Mention 2 ways to insert a table in a presentation. You will see always table is the best way to represent data. For example, if I just write randomly these numbers, it would be very difficult to understand this even. And if I just write this number in a tabular form, you will see how organized they look, and they are representing certain things, so they are giving you certain information. Okay, so always while you are presenting, try to use the table. So in order to represent the statistical data or any kind of data meaningfully, the tables are being used. It can be used to present text and numerical data as well. Not only numerical, text also you can use. For example, the mobile numbers. We don't remember, we know the name. It is better to present them in a way which people understand. Data is shown in a grid form, rows and column. So first part is done. Now mention any 2 ways to insert a table in a present. For that you have to go to Insert tab, and here you'll find Table, Insert Table, and using title and content options, all these can be added. Define the following. So whenever we are talking about a database management system, relational database management system, these are the certain terms which we must know, and that they are normally asked in your exam. So if you see, there are 2 tables here. We'll talk about these tables also in discussing these defining. So first of all, we make a schema, then we make a ER, entity relationship diagram, and then we formulate a table. But the table should have a single field that can uniquely identify the records. So table is basically rows and column. This is the related data. So a table is a collection of related data held in a table or kept in a table format within a database. So rows are the horizontal row, the columns are the vertical. So it consists of columns and rows. A database can have multiple tables. Now you see here very carefully. I am trying to define the primary key. So we have 4 columns: student ID, first name, last name, and course ID. Now here student ID and course ID, they both can be used as a primary key, because if you see first record and the third record, the course ID is repeated. So if I just add one more and I write Jim, so it will be repeated. That is, Jim will have 2 entries in a table. So how to uniquely identify this Jim or a record? So we need a particular column. You can call it as a column or an attribute or a key that can uniquely identify a single record. Okay, so that is called the primary key. So primary key is a unique value that identifies a row in a table or a record in a table. For example, in a student table, it may have admission number, name, date of birth, address, phone number, and admission number. So what all can be taken? Admission number, the phone number, and these phone number and admission number can be taken as a primary key, because phone number is also unique, admission number is also unique. Okay, date of birth, people can have they can share it. Name also, multiple people can have it. Okay, now you see here there is another table, and course ID is also a primary, can be taken as a primary key, because course ID will be specific. For example, there is an employability skill course and an information technology course. The code will be different, course ID will be different. So course ID can also be taken as primary key in the first table. But this particular attribute or a column which is now the primary key of the another table. So the primary key of another table which is in the first table is called the foreign key, because one table is having that particular key or that particular column, and that column is behaving as a primary key in the other table. That is called the foreign key. That is why, because it is foreign to the one table. One table, it is foreign. Why? Because that particular table, first table, is having a column which is also in the other column, second column, foreign column, and that is behaving as a primary key there. Okay. Snehal works for an event management company. I guess these different questions which are coming, we are going to take in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much and take care of yourself.